Another big recruiting weekend on the Plains. Ole Miss is coming to town and several important recruits will also be on campus. So in this video, we're going to hit on the key targets that will be there, the recruits that Auburn is trying to flip, and who could be on commit watch all this weekend. Auburn fans, subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We are growing this thing, and we need you to be a part of it. Hit subscribe for me. Okay, let's bring on Jeffrey Lee from Auburn Live. We're going to get into the visitor list, but we got to talk about five-star Auburn target that is deciding on Saturday. LJ McCrae, he visited Auburn, I think it was the end of September, and there was a good bit of confidence building with Auburn. Jeff, how are you feeling today about the Tigers' chances of landing McCrae?
Probably a little bit better than I was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago maybe. He came in for the Georgia game, I believe, had a lot of great things to say. Nobody has really put Auburn in that first tier for him, and understandably so, including myself. I haven't. I will say there is a bit of hope. I don't know if I would call it confidence at Auburn, but a little bit of hope. The return from him has been very positive, but it's probably that way with all 4 or 5 of these schools. There's probably, unless he's told you, no, I'm not coming, you kind of hope that the work you're doing is going to pay off in the end. I just don't think that there's a lot of buzz around Auburn. Mm-hmm. Maybe hope. I think hope is the best way to describe maybe where Auburn is at right now with LJ McCrae.
Yeah, and you got Auburn, you got Georgia, you got Florida State, Florida, and Miami. Those are the main teams. So let's take Auburn out of it for a second, Jeff, just for fun. If it's not Auburn, who do you think it is going to be for LJ McCrae?
I never thought the kid would leave the state of Florida. I'm back and forth with Florida State. I know Chad Simmons, on three's Chad Simmons, thinks Florida State's got a lot of buzz in there. I have no reason to doubt him. For me, it's always been Florida State. And that's just kind of gut feeling there, just kind of reading the leaves from the tea.
All right, so Auburn fans, keep an eye on the LJ McCrae recruitment on Saturday, just because I think, like Jeff said, there's a little bit of hope there, and you never know. Sure. But on Saturday, Ole Miss is coming to town. Big visit weekend on the Plains. Got some official visitors at the JUCO level, but first, I want to start with Alabama wide receiver Ryan Williams. He keeps on showing up, and I didn't think much of it at first, but now it seems to kind of be a trend of him coming to Auburn for all these visits. What's your sources saying on a possible flip?
Probably a little bit more than LJ McCrae. There is some confidence here at Auburn with Ryan Williams, the 5-star wide receiver, in-state wide receiver, legacy recruit for Auburn. I covered his father back in the day, his recruitment to Auburn, Ryan Williams from BC Rain back in the day. But Ryan came to the Georgia game. He brought with him his quarterback, KJ Lacey, who is committed to Texas. Mm-hmm. Those two are very close. They're very tight. They have talked about going to the same school, same college. And so it's the reason why Ryan is visiting Texas and the reason KJ is visiting Auburn. That's something certainly to keep an eye on. But Ryan was here for the Georgia game. His father came with him. They spent the night. They spent all day Saturday and then the better part of Sunday. And Hugh Freeze has made such a big deal about this kid. He's made him such a high priority. There's some buzz about him reclassifying, and he's told me, nothing's set in stone yet, but it is a possibility I could reclassify to 2024. Auburn certainly hopes he does because they need him now. They don't need him, 2 years from now. They need Ryan Williams, a talent like him right now, as we all have seen the wide receiver, the passing game at Auburn is struggling. So Ryan Williams came for the Georgia game. He's coming back for the Ole Miss game, and he'll be back late November for the Alabama game. Certainly a lot more confidence than hope coming from Auburn right now.
Right. Now, you said they need Ryan Williams right now. Speaking of right now, they are going after 2 JUCO targets that they're going to bring in on official visit weekends. JUCO prospects generally mean instant impact. At least that's the hope. So Auburn's bringing in DB Laquan Robinson and defensive lineman Brian Taylor. What are your sources saying here? What are Auburn's chances of landing these 2?
I really like Auburn's chances with Robinson, the defensive back from Holmes, Mississippi, Holmes Community College in Mississippi. He's originally from Greenville, Alabama, so he's 30 minutes, 45 minutes down the road. He came for the Georgia game. His father came for the Georgia game. They're big Auburn fans, having grew up right down the road. Auburn got in on this kid. I think he's the number 6 overall junior college recruit in the country per the On3 industry ranking. Headhunter back at safety, a guy that Auburn believes could come in and make an immediate impact. Really want this kid. And I think myself and Cole Pinkston both have placed on 3 RPM recruiting predictions for Auburn to get him. I think Auburn would really like to wrap up his recruitment this weekend, be done with him as far as getting him on board and look ahead. But he'll be in. Brian Taylor, there's a connection here. He's from Houston. Which you're going, well, what's the connection there with Auburn, Alabama? Well, starting tackle for Auburn is Dylan Wade. Those two guys went to high school together. They grew up together. They're very close friends, and they remain very close friends. And so they have talked about reuniting in college, and would be a prime opportunity for Brian Taylor to do so. Auburn needs depth at defensive line. They need immediate contributors at defensive line. They need starters, especially next year. So getting both of these two junior college kids not only on campus but committed would be absolutely huge for Auburn.
Yeah. All right. Well, they're official visitors, so they will be on campus all weekend, not just on Saturday. So very important with those guys. What other big names are on your radar that could be on campus this weekend? Who are you tracking? Big
names. Okay. Confirmed, Caleb Cunningham, he is the number 12 overall recruit in the 2025 class. He and Ryan Williams are two of the top 4 wide receivers. He'll be on campus for the Ole Miss game. Cortez Smith, another big 2025 kid, offensive lineman, is coming in from Parkview, but sticking with the 2024 class. Caleb Harris, to me, is a guy to definitely keep an eye on for Auburn. He is an in-state kid from Thompson, a juggernaut of an in-state school at Thompson. Auburn just offered him and has really been making a push for him. They really like this kid. They really like what they've seen from the first half of the season. Hugh Freeze went and visited his school a couple of weeks ago. The first week coaches could go out on the road. So definitely be keeping an eye on him. Kylan Fox, the 4-star tight end that's committed to UCF, is coming over from Georgia. Keep an eye on him. And then, Josh, there's a few names, man, bigger names that I'm going to be keeping an eye on to see if they show up.
Let's go. Let's hear them. You can't just leave us like that. I mean, come on. We know it's not.
I didn't want to jump the gun,
but who are you tracking?
I'm tracking 5-star wide receiver Cam Coleman, the Texas A&M commitment, and tracking him.
Tease.
Well, I didn't want to, get ahead of myself here. But he had 2 or 3 weeks ago had hinted that he would be at Auburn for the Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
Haven't confirmed that. I'd like to have some newer intel than 3 weeks ago. So I'm still tracking Cam Coleman coming in. Hey, I'm tracking Cam Franklin, the 4-star defensive lineman who's committed to Ole Miss. He's been telling me that he's going to be back at Auburn. He just doesn't know when. Have yet to confirm with him, but he's somebody to definitely track. Jamonte Waller, the 4-star edge commitment from Mississippi, who's committed to Florida, is he was here for the Georgia game. Will he be back? Certainly somebody to keep an eye on. So there's a good little group here who could really take this visit list over this, the next up to the next tier as far as blue chip ratio goes.
And of course, those are all unconfirmed names, but sure. Auburn Live, this is a great chance to plug Auburn Live because you guys in real time will be tracking all of this through the weekend. So go to Auburn Live for even more. Now, before I let you go, I got to ask, do you have anyone on commit watch this weekend?
Absolutely, I do. I have Laquan Robinson, the junior college defensive back. I think, like I said earlier, Auburn would like to get him in the class sooner than later. They've lost a couple of DBs in the past week. Jalewis Solomon decommitted from South Carolina, which was a surprise. Jaden Lewis decommitted from Auburn on Tuesday. Not a surprise. That was more of a mutual parting of the ways, as Keith Niebuhr, our buddy at the Florida site, likes to say. But definitely keep an eye on these two defensive backs, Laquan Robinson, the JUCO, and then Caleb Harris, the 3-star, current 3-star from Thompson. Keep an eye on him. Auburn wants him in the class to replace some of these guys who have been let go or decommitted. So Laquan Robinson, Caleb Harris, keep an eye on those two guys. Auburn certainly hopes they jump on board this weekend.
All right. I got it all jotted down. Great information. Jeffrey Lee from Auburn Live. Thank you for coming by the Inside Scoop and dropping all this Auburn intel on us today.
Absolutely, Josh. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that content, be sure to subscribe to the On3 Recruits channel. We have a new page dedicated only to recruiting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now.